Markus Tuschl, Global Director Digital Retail at GfK. You're looking into the future with a lot of data. How will the shopper of the future look like?
Not only looking into the future, but also looking into the present to understand what the trends are that will drive developments in the retail scene. And there are many different trends, like its attitudes towards shopping relevant topics like mobile payment, for example, is a very important enabler for mobile commerce, like online payment was for e-commerce. And there we see many trends, for example, that are different between the regions of the world, where we see a very advanced Asian region in this respect, while Europe is somewhat behind.
How come?
For several reasons, actually. Well, in Europe we saw we see a very structured retail scene already that developed step by step in many other regions of the world, which we considered in many respects the developing countries. They did two steps at once, entered the mobile e-commerce or mobile internet era immediately, and that's also reflected in retail formats and the concepts that retailers have implemented. So they have many more learnings in these regions, and they are very advanced in dealing with these topics. So that's, let's say, one important topic coming from the consumer, but also what about their expectations? So we see convenience is one of the huge topics, and retail has to deliver on these expectations. There are many things that play an important role in how to deliver on this, like how do I catch my consumer where he is, what the expectation is, and therefore we see new retail formats, some of them not that new anymore, but successful will be those that deliver.
Can you give an example of a new retail format?
Marketplaces, for example, are very strongly on the rise. We did research on that as well, where expert opinion worldwide is that marketplaces, as they have that capability of delivering on convenience expectations, they are expected to be very successful in the future. So that's one. I think mobile, also mobile most of the time is not considered like a standalone retail format, while more and more we can hear news about mobile only formats or mobile first and so on. But that's not that big at this stage, but the mobile component as a key element to all retail formats has become very, very evident. There's still a lot of development going on in this area, but this is another one very important. And multi-channel, of course, no matter how you name it, multi-omni, whatever channel you name it. But for the consumer, it's extremely convenient. You know, you can buy where you want and get information where you want, return where you want, and that's really an advantage. And those who have a good way of implementing it will have good chances to be the successful players of the future.
And you mentioned that European retailers are behind on some specific aspects. What can they learn from other retailers from all around the world?
Yeah, so it's worthwhile looking at the Asian region, for example, where mobile payment is well established. It's penetrated across all the population, nearly, at least all the population that has access to the internet. It is well accepted, and therefore for retailers it's just natural to do it. For shoppers to use it, and for example the payment platforms. I don't want to mention any specific one because we are by nature as a research company neutral. But big retailers have well-established, well-trusted payment platforms in place, for example.
And we are here in Amsterdam, where, for example, I can mention some names. Adyen is founded, big in payment, also payment services. Do you think that's a typical like Dutch innovative company? Do you see has Europe a chance to get into the pace of the Asian company and to go over them or surpass them, maybe?
Well, maybe yes. That's a quite difficult question, but what I think what the learning has to be, there needs to be a convenient solution. If it's an own solution, it won't make sense for every retailer. Maybe solutions even from Asia maybe can be adopted and implemented here if it makes sense for the retailer, if they are working well, if they deliver on the trust expectations that we see here in Europe, which are, well, very high. Then these existing platforms might be used also. So it's not, I would say, only about compete, but it's about doing it in a smart way. So look what's out there and then implement it into your retail format so it best again delivers on the consumer's requirements in terms of convenience.
And you have spoken to a lot of people today at events. What have you learned?
Oh, what have I learned? So, I mean, it is very mixed, so it's quite interesting. There are representatives from brands, from manufacturers with different interests, let's say, compared to retailers, also compared to the marketplace platform providers that are present here. And I think it's really interesting to understand, well, the different views that they have. For example, marketplaces are very controversial topic as I perceive it, while many see the big opportunities that are there for frequencies and so on. But on the other hand side, it's maybe not so easy to do branding on such a platform. So there are very many controversial discussions. What I see is that it's even if it's controversial, it's very constructive. So it's a very productive spirit around here, and yeah, so many learnings, and I'm keen to see what's coming the rest of the day. So
great. Well, thank you very much. Thank you for being here and sharing your knowledge.
Yeah, thanks for your invitation.
Okay, great.